Coming up on the show, PlayStation 4 has hit a new milestone on sales. And has there been another delay for No Man's Sky? And what's in store for Resident Evil 7? All coming up on the Always Games TV Show. Welcome back to the Always Games TV Show, episode 9. The date is the 26th of May 2016. I am your host, as always, Roger Hunt. And I am joined by the wonderful, by the amazing... Hold on, let me get to the right button so I can get you ready so it can look really smooth and professional and stuff. Tom Simpson! Hello, sir. How are you?
Oh.
Ew,
not bad,
how are we?
Yeah, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. I'm gathering my energy together. I've had a little bit of coffee now. I've been really tired all day, and I have no reason why. I've actually done sweet. I even had a bit of a cat nap earlier. About like two. No, my cat didn't join me. Unfortunately, I was chilling. She was actually. I think she was actually quite pissed off because she laid on the sofa and pretty much nicked her spot, and she was just sat on the floor just staring at me.
I won't piss your cat off.
No, she's alright. She's got better. She's got better. She was a stray, so those first 2 months were a little bit iffy, but she's alright now. Anyway, welcome to the Always Games TV Show, where we talk about video games, honest. So, what have you been playing recently, Tom?
I've been playing Far Harbor for Fallout 4.
Ooh, when was that released?
I think, was it this week? It might have been the beginning of this week, possibly.
Now,
Oh no, it wasn't. It was last week.
Was it last week?
This
and it must have been the back end of last week.
Yeah.
But you were having a lot of issues on PlayStation 4 with your frame rate with the Fallout. How are you finding it with the DLC?
Oh, I figured out what my problem was. It was I built my settlement too big and awesomeness.
So there's too much going on.
I deleted most of it, rebuilt it, and then built it too much again, and it's lagging again. So I can't do it. Far Harbor's okay, but that lags as well. But that's because there's like, I don't know if it's volumetric fog, but there's fog everywhere, and it causes quite a few frame rate drops everywhere. But it's a good, really, really good DLC. So,
a curiosity actually, why did you buy Fallout 4 on PlayStation 4 and not your PC? Because you got a pretty decent PC.
I got it really cheap on PC. I got it with the season pass for like 30 quid.
So you did get it on PC?
Yeah, but I got it like really cheap before the season pass went up.
Oh, okay. So, and you've not been tempted to switch over to play it on PC and sort of...
My PC is struggling with it.
Really?
Yeah, my PC isn't that good anymore.
Oh, dude.
No, it's not.
Oh, great, because that makes mine look like crap.
I think mine's only a tiny step up from yours. It's honestly not that much different.
I've got a graphics card NVIDIA 660.
And I've got a 770.
770. So that the next one up. As you can tell, people, I'm not very well clued into...
No, the next one up from yours is a 660. 670, sorry.
670, and then it goes 760?
I've got the next generation up from that.
Right.
And of course, now we're on the 10 series almost, which is getting released, I think, is it tomorrow? Or...
Yes, I think it is. I saw an article come up on Facebook, actually, from GameSpot, and I think they were on about that. It was going to be released either tomorrow or is it going to be early next week?
I'm just going to add on, there's I think they might be adding a 1080 variant of the Titan and 1080 Ti, I think it was, something like that. Saw a rumour or something.
To be honest, we actually didn't discuss this on the last show about the NVIDIA card, new one's coming out. So let's just run through it now for anybody who doesn't know about it. So what's the name of the new graphics card that's coming out?
The 1070, or the 10 series, sort of.
1070,
1080.
And this is like a much more, it's still expensive, but it's a much more affordable graphics card. And it's more powerful than your Titans. Is that correct? Go on, run down to it, because I'm like, I when it comes to knowledge of PC parts. Mine's kind of null, so...
Well, the 1080 is a lot better. I think it's better than two 980s, or it might be very similar in performance to them. It's also similar to a 980 Ti, but I think it is slightly better. I think I saw a benchmark that Tiny Tom Logan did on. Well, he works for Overclockers UK, and I have forgotten what happened.
But it was a pretty good performance over...
Basically, they said it's a really, really good card, and you don't normally get that much of a performance boost from like different generations. So they're recommending, unless you have a 980 Ti, even if you've got a 980, it's worth upgrading.
Really?
Yeah.
And it's not gonna cost as much as a 980.
I think it will.
It will, because I remember when me and you originally were speaking about it, just like opposite one lunchtime, and you were like telling me like the prices are much more affordable compared to a lot of the high end graphics cards at this present moment until it's been released.
Well, that's sort of changed a bit now. It's a bit dearer. It's going to be about 600, 650 for a 1080.
That's not too bad, because like I remember when me and you were talking a while ago about the Titans and stuff, and you're looking at over £1,000 originally.
Yeah. You get in. I think it's like Titan X or Titan X Performance in that area for a lot less. And then the 1070, which is still really good for what you get, is about 350. I think it was about £350, which is not bad really for what you're getting.
I was gonna say, like, it's gonna. I personally think with this release of this graphics card and being a little bit cheaper, I think it's gonna have a little bit of a knock-on effect, obviously, for newer games that are going to be coming out.
Yeah.
Because if they know that the consumer are being able to get hold of this much more powerful graphics card, and it's going to be a little bit more widely available.
There's well, it'll be a lot better. Put it that way. It also performance-wise for VR, it's like 2.5 times better than the Ti 980 Ti. I mean, which is brilliant if you want an Oculus. Also, I think
one thing that's going to be affecting a lot of people with getting hold of the Oculus and the Vive is that people's PCs are just not going to hold up to it. Speaking
of PCs, still, I think Microsoft are releasing 4 new CPUs this year, processors, for the X99 motherboard, which is like the enthusiast gamer, and one of the best ones is a 10-core i7, which
how much is that going to cost?
About £1,000.
Nice. So where one goes down, the other one comes up. That sounds really dirty,
and I saw a benchmark for some RAM. I think they've got some DDR4 RAM. I can't remember who it was now. I think it was G-Skills Ripjaw, which is the RAM I'm using, but it's an old DDR3 one, because I ain't got a DDR4 system yet. And I think they got the clock speeds up to about 5,000 megahertz.
Yeah, well, I think Tom, we're going to have to start doing some saving, man, and maybe consider upgrading our PCs.
That much money.
I tell you what, I'll do your deal, right?
Yeah, you're going to buy me
one. Yeah, no worries. Until then, I've got an idea.
Nice.
Right? You buy a brand new PC with all this stuff in it, which is going to be awesome, right? Right. Wait up.
Okay.
I'll buy an Oculus.
Yeah.
You let me borrow your PC.
No.
And I get to play an Oculus Rift.
No.
What if I make you a cake? No, all right, fair enough. It was worth a try anyway. But no, I've got to admit, it's going to have a massive knock-on effect to the consoles, I'd say. With, obviously, the PC's going to be having a massive jump in technology and graphical, basically, power. It's going to make the consoles, which are already looking a little bit flaky at the edges, basically look really, really old very, very quickly.
I do already, I'm afraid.
But that kind of brings us on to our first news story, in all honesty. Nice transitions.
Oh, can I just add one onto the last story?
No.
Damn it.
Yeah. Of course you can. Go on, go for it.
Yeah, these new graphics cards will basically mean 4K is a lot more accessible as well. So if you have a 4K screen, it's going to make your consoles look even worse. Just thought I'd put that out there.
And it's all, yeah. I think it's good that we're obviously getting a massive jump, but console companies are going to have to start thinking about what they're going to do for the future. I'm going to try and do my segue again. You watching?
Yeah.
Talking about video games consoles and their capability. Sort of. Sony Online Entertainment, not Sony Online Entertainment, they're not around. Sony Interactive Entertainment today announced that as of May the 22nd, 2016, the PlayStation 4 has sold more than 40 million consoles to consumers worldwide, which is a lot of consoles. It's such a short period of time from its release to now. So... So it's not done too bad. But with the success of PlayStation 4, my question to you, Tom, is like, we were discussing this the other day. What is the future for video games consoles? Because at one time, when the end of the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360 cycles, a lot of people on the internet were discussing about the idea that video games consoles are actually coming to an end. But with the success of this generation and them selling so well, consoles aren't going anywhere.
Excuse me.
You're right. I'll keep you awake. Don't you worry.
Boring me to tears, I'm afraid. I'm kidding.
But no, with the consoles doing so well in this generation, and they're not going anywhere, and they're just going to constantly keep developing. What is the future for games consoles? So we're seeing that the PlayStation 4.5 and 4K is basically, well, it's supposedly on the horizon and on its way. And recently there's also another rumor going around that Microsoft are going to do a upgraded version of the Xbox One, which is apparently codenamed Scorpio.
Actually, there is...
Go on.
Sorry, go on.
No, I was just going to say that it seems to be following a similar pattern where me and Luke actually spoke in a previous AlwaysGamesTV show, that it's following a similar pattern to the mobile companies where every year there's going to be a slightly upgraded version, not like the slim versions, actual proper upgrades. Now, is it going to head down like this idea of a contract, that you take out a contract with a video games company console and then pay so much and then you get the next one when you want to upgrade? Or are we going to see these little upgrades every year and a half where we're going to have to pay full whack for?
Well, it's interesting that you're saying that because the PS4 at the moment and the new rumoured PS4 is Project Neo, I think they've called it.
Yeah, it was codenamed Neo, but then... Is it? Yeah, I think they have confirmed it's going to be Neo.
Anyway,
Go ahead, sorry.
Those are going to be designed to work together. So you've got your PS4 games and then your PS4 games on Neo, or the 4K PS4, whatever it is. The only difference that you'll get is, I think, is it 4K upscaling and better frame rate? Or if you don't have 4K, it's better frame rate. But with the Xbox, the power difference between the two is much more dramatic, and I don't see how they can coexist together. I don't know how they're going to manage that.
So you mean like the managing of the, if they release this Xbox Scorpio, you mean there's going to be such a graphical difference between the two consoles?
It's 3 times more powerful, I think, at least.
Well, again, I did read another article. Again, it's very much rumour-based at this present moment because I don't believe there's a lot been confirmed. But I did remember reading an article that there's a rumour going around that Sony is telling their, basically, different games developers, saying that you have to create 2 versions of a video game when the upgraded version comes out. So you'll have your, like, 30 frames per second game, which will be on the original PlayStation 4, and then there must be another version which must be able to automatically, in a way, upgrade to that version where it'll be a higher frame rate or a higher resolution.
Now, if you go back and look at the release of the original Xbox in 2000 and something, 5 years after the release of the original, the Xbox 360 came out. That was only 5-year lifespan for the original Xbox. So I thought it was longer, but it wasn't.
Oh, right.
So if you're looking at the Xbox One, which was released in 2013, the rumoured release date of Scorpio is going to be 2017. I know it's only 4 years, but there might, it could be another year or so. I'm just saying, they might be marketing it as, like, I don't know, a newer console.
It would be interesting to see. Maybe this next generation of console is going to be a much shorter one. Which, again, sort of comes into my idea of what consoles are probably going to become. Now, again, this is purely my opinion and thoughts on the matter, that with, like, PlayStation Now, and it hasn't been overly successful, but it actually works okay, and it works all right. And it even works on my internet, which is not the best. I've got a feeling that consoles will eventually become like a system of Netflix or Now TV or Amazon Prime, where you'll have a little box in your room, plug it into the TV, and you will stream video games down to your box, and you will subscribe and do it that way. Mainly because that would then skip over hardware capability, and it would actually come down to your internet, which means then I personally think, like, consoles won't have discs anymore. They'll just be streamed down your little wire.
I don't know. I don't think enough places will have high-speed internet to support that. So I mean, it's fair enough. You could have mainly just downloading, streaming games. But then for the, I don't know, areas or people that don't have high speed, you'll still have to have another medium for it to be.
Well, if like maybe, well, okay, so let's say it might not be the next generation. So let's say the next generation of consoles. Are we 3 years in now? 3 years. About 3 years into this generation of consoles, 2 to 3 years. Give it another 5 years. I think we've got one more generation of consoles with discs or some form of physical copy of video games. And I think then the generation after that will be non-physical, and it'll just be either download or streaming.
I mean, it'll be a hell of a lot better for the environment, but I don't know. I just don't think that I just don't think
broadband has to get better. Well,
good enough broadband.
Fiber
internet.
optic has to get better. Like I've got fiber, and we live in a market town in the middle of Yorkshire.
I know a lot of people that don't have fiber though.
Well, that's true. It is still trying to get around in some of the places of the UK. But if you think about maybe 10 years time, 12 years time, we could be capable of pretty good download. Hopefully,
we could be, but not everyone will have fiber. Not everyone will have like the super fast package.
It'd be interesting to see. I got to admit, it's just I think it's one of the only ways that the console companies can get over this problem of trying to keep up with PCs and technology is by skipping it and letting the internet take over the work.
Like you said before the show, I think they should bring back cartridges.
Oh yeah, we said this, didn't we? Like the idea of like basically we were on about how like the CDs and Blu-rays now, the amount that they hold isn't actually that much compared to a USB. So if they brought back cartridges, they could hold a lot more. Also,
a cartridge could be the size of your thumbnail.
Yeah,
like a USB, you just stick it in the front of your machine.
And that would be quite interesting. That would be cool. That'd be funny if they actually had reverted. Or if Nintendo NX actually reverted back from CDs and went back to cartridges, that would actually be pretty sweet.
That'd be pretty cool. I think if they encrypted it and made it secure, like secure as they can, like I don't know, like a Blu-ray game disc. Technically, it's not too dissimilar. Although I don't know, it might change the price. It'll probably be more expensive because it's like a USB stick.
That's true. But again, technology is becoming cheaper, more advanced.
Because USB sticks, I mean, you can actually get like a terabyte USB stick now. You could have like game collections and whole packages with multiple on.
You could have the Uncharted 1, 2, 3, and 4 all in one little
alongside package. Every single Tomb Raider game and
but Crash Bandicoot.
You call it the adventure package, right?
You could call it the Naughty Dog package, where you just have all the basically Jak and Daxter, Crash Bandicoot, and all the Uncharted. Oh, and then The Last of Us, and then the remastered Us.
I think we should market this.
Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, contact us.
No, but I mean, anyone who can download or stream, I think should. But also, it depends on hard drive space. Like my hard drive's getting full, and I've only got like 2 downloaded games. The rest is just like save data and stuff.
But if you did streaming service, that would actually then bypass the idea of a hard drive.
Yeah, but like I said, you imagine how many servers you'd need for all the millions of people.
True.
That'd be a lot of servers.
We will. I tell you what, Tom. I'll do your deal. Another deal.
I don't like your deals.
There will be cake again.
But it's a lie.
In 12 to 15 years' time, we'll come back and we'll bring this topic back up again, and we will see which one of us was right.
I would hate to see what we're like in 15 years.
I'm just going to be exactly the same, but with
grey.
white hair. Yeah. just pure. I will look like Obi-Wan Kenobi, but Alec Guinness version.
15 years, you'll be what, like 44? Oh, hang on, 45 if we wait a few weeks. And then I don't want to know what I'm going to be in 15 years. For like 39 or something.
You do realise you just give pretty much my age away on the internet.
Everyone knows you're like 22.
Yes, yes, I am.
It's not 29.
Yeah. Fuck you. Next topic. So, yes, we're moving on. We're not even waiting for a decent segue. I'm just like talking about things getting old. I So, Kantan Games CEO Dr. Serkan Toto revealed via Twitter that Resident Evil 7 is in the works and apparently returning to its horror roots and in addition a clean slate. And that is in clean slate. So the question is, even though you're not a massive Resident Evil video game player, Tom, you know the premise-ish of Resident Evil with the zombies and everything, and it's gone a lot more from survival horror over to action-based now. So my question is, what are your thoughts on them saying like returning to the roots and clean slate, and also like with everything that happened with like Resident Evil 6, which was way away from the original idea, and then with their new third-person action online shooter, which is coming out, Umbrella Corps, which is totally not what Resident Evil is about. They've gone to this one extreme of very, very survival horror, very survival horror, to massive action-based. A clean slate?
I think I played Resident Evil 2 when I was really, really young and I had nightmares. So then I didn't play it until Resident Evil 6. And I played Resident Evil 6.
What did you think to Resident Evil 6? Honestly, like coming from somebody who has not really played much of the previous ones.
It was okay. I mean, it wasn't. I would not pay full whack for that game. I'd probably pay like 15 quid in a bargain bin.
I grabbed it on release, and I think I played about 2 hours of it and not played it since.
I played a little bit of Resi 5 and I thought that was awful. Mind you, I didn't get past the beginning bit with the weird face people. That was kind of...
5 and 6 was poor. Resident Evil 4 is very good, very good. Again, a lot of people love it. Saying, "Oh, it's best in the franchise." I actually don't think it is. It's good. It was like from people that have a go at me, but I thought it was a good game. I enjoyed it tremendously, way more than obviously 5 and 6 because they were terrible. But I was very much a survival horror guy. I liked that tactical, that I have to sort of measure every shot that I'm firing. I had to count my shots. I had to make sure I knew where the save points were. Because that was an element of, yes, it was a scary game because there's zombies around, but it was scary because you didn't know what was around the corner, which could potentially kill you and set you back 3 hours. That was a bit of a Dark Souls element to it.
You know what I'd really quite find... Sorry, can we just redo that bit?
Yeah, go. I think
it's not good.
And we were thinking about live streaming.
We are.
Carry on.
No, we're not. I'm
not quitting that.
What I'd enjoy.
Sorry, carry on.
Remember to edit that out.
I'm not editing anything out. It'll be fine.
Oh, okay. What was I talking about? Resident Evil.
Resident Evil.
I was playing Far Harbor earlier. Right, I'm going right back to the beginning of this show, and it's really enjoyable, and the atmosphere was really good. But I think if you took the base Fallout game and made a Resident Evil game just like it, well, maybe not just like it, but made an open world sort of Resident Evil game, single player RPG, is it?
Yeah, RPG.
It's like an RPG, but with scarce like ammo and stuff, like survival-esque. I think that'd be really cool.
That would be cool, actually. That would be good. Like, it's almost taking it, like, say, back to that loneliness and sort of isolation, but in an open world aspect. That would be quite cool, actually.
They could leave like little cassettes around with like survivors' stories on them that they've been recording on the journey. You can find more and more of the same like series of cassettes until you find.
It's just when they've used the both terminology of returning to its horror roots. So when they said that, I'm thinking, oh, they're going back to a survival horror element. And then they said clean slate. Is this going to be a soft reboot? Are they going to restart the franchise again from scratch? Or are they going to kill all previous characters off? Or are they going to go right back to the beginning and follow somebody else's story, which is run parallel to the original story?
That'd be cool, but I've never played 1, 2, 3, or 4.
I think that's something we need to sort out.
I don't know, they're pretty old now. Although they did remaster number 1. And what's Resident Evil 0, by the way?
Zero is a prequel to Resident Evil 1, which came out on GameCube. It's very good. Very, very good again. Well, I'll tell you what, Tom, we will do a live stream where the both of us will play it. Do Resident Evil 0, Resident Evil 1, and they are remaking Resident Evil 2. So
it's like a charity stream?
We could do a charity stream. We could set up a charity.
That'd take a long time.
Well, not set up a charity, but we could set up a charity stream to raise money for a charity.
I remember, like, playing it, and you can't really see around corners until you get round them, and then there might be something straight in front of you, and then you get your neck eaten.
Yeah, it was basically like that, but that's what created the horror, because you may have saved a couple of hours ago, and you didn't know what was in that next room.
All I can remember from that little bit I played that was terrifying was the atmosphere and the music.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
That was the old style of survival horrors. It brought all elements of the game to scare you. And like I said, the music, the atmosphere, the ambience, what was going on in the story, characters that you met, you didn't know if they were going to die, you cared for them, all that sort of aspect, your ammunition, your health packs, everything like that, all added to this horror aspect. And I think a lot of that seems to have lost. And Capcom clearly have realised that with them remastering Resident Evil 0, Resident Evil 1, started to realise that these games still do sell. And that's probably one of the reasons why they're remaking Resident Evil 2. And hopefully with the release of that and that selling very, very well, we might see these games start to come back.
I think they should let a different company make a Resident Evil game. Not like not like with Battlefield, where they sort of like, who was it, Visceral or someone who made Hardline? That was awful.
I think so.
I don't mean like that. I mean, they should let a known AAA company.
Even something like if they went down the element of like Outlast, that was very different to Resident Evil, but it had the elements of Resident Evil. It had that like horror aspect of tension because you felt very, very vulnerable.
And the brown pants jump scares.
Yeah, there were plenty of them. And if you don't believe me, head on to AlwaysGamesTV.com and watch me play Nights of Horror of Outlast.
His new nickname is Brown Streak.
If we ever get to rechange our PlayStation names, I'm going to change it to that.
That'd be so funny.
Oh, dear. Anyway, trying to find a nice segue again. Talking about changing subjects.
That was amazing.
Thanks. I'm good at this. Has No Man's Sky been delayed again? Now, there's no official word of a delay from either Hello Games or the publisher, Sony, but Kotaku and Tech Radar both say they have heard the game will no longer meet its release date of the 21st of June. Now, there were also GameSpot reported on that there was a second source who actually works at GameSpot, said that they'd received some marketing material for No Man's Sky with the original date of the 21st of June on it. However, there were shops, that were informing people that the release date is no... Sorry, I rephrase that. Shops were informed that the release date was no longer correct and that they should cover up the date with a label saying coming soon. So, with no official word, this is purely rumour, that No Man's Sky is possibly delayed again. What are your thoughts, Tom, with No Man's Sky?
Quite a lot of games get delayed, and we've seen
it happens a lot
what
these days.
Happens when they don't get delayed and they get released early, and then it's riddled with bugs. And
my concern is that this seems to have... No Man's Sky is taking a long time to come out, and the problem is with this is that it's been in people's radars for a little while now, and we've seen a lot of the same videos again and again and again. And in my personal opinion, which is, I guess it's a little bit harsh, I'll admittedly say this is my own personal opinion, is that I'm a little bit bored now of it. Because I've been waiting, and I still want to have a go on it, but my concern is that I'm already a little bit fed up of it. Because it's just it's getting dragged out. And the hype seems to have now started to dip off a bit.
If it's not been delayed, it's out in under a month.
Yeah, and
if it has been delayed, it's out in another 2 months.
Well, I was kind of hoping, because my birthday's on the 13th of June, because I turned 22 again. Shut up. So I was kind of hoping maybe pick it up around about my birthday. And so I was like, oh, okay, that could be a nice little birthday present to myself. And I thought, well, okay, maybe that's something for me to look forward to. Yeah, I am looking forward to it. But he's like, delayed again? I'm like...
That's what I was thinking about myself, because my birthday's on the 12th of June.
Yeah, yours is on the 12th, mine's on the 13th.
Yeah, I know, I was thinking about...
And you're still older than me. Shut up.
Yeah, if you say so.
I think it's just because how it's been dragged on and on now. The hype level is starting to dip quite dramatically for me. For No Man's Sky, and I feel it's kind of harsh words because clearly this game's having a lot of work done, and they want to make sure it's right and working and smooth. It's just that there's been so much said about it already, and we've been waiting, and then it got delayed, and then we're waiting, and then nothing seemed to hear about it, and then we were waiting, and then we got a release date, and now we're waiting, and now it's been delayed. We're like,
I have got a couple of concerns actually.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
It looks very good. Right, it does. It looks really
good.
But as with other space games that have come out recently, such as Elite Dangerous for one, the universe could be like a mile wide but an inch deep. It could be cram-packed full of stuff, but the actual depth of it is just non-existent.
Yeah, you would say. I remember you telling me that you'd had to go on Elite Dangerous and you weren't very impressed at all.
It's all right, but there's just I don't know that it's missing something. There's not much to it.
Which I guess in some ways, some games aren't going to pull you in. That's just, it's not for everyone. And my concern is that I don't think this game is going to be for everyone. I can imagine that this is going to have great interest right for the first 2 weeks. And my personal think it's just going to die off very quickly. And I think it's because the hype level has been risen so much that it's not going to reach anybody's expectations, and I think people are just going to be majorly pissed off that it's been delayed again.
Bear in mind it's been built by a small team, so you don't expect it to be like a AAA title. You can mark it as one because by the look of it, they are a really good team. However,
I perfectly agree. But my argument to that is that they've priced it as a full game. Like
the
full
cheapest
AAA game.
price I've seen is about £48.
Which I would class that as a AAA game price. Not knocking indies in any way, but usually traditionally indie games are much cheaper.
Sure, you can get hours and hours and hours of gameplay out of it, but how long into that is it before it starts becoming the same thing?
Very repetitive.
A bit like Star Wars Battlefront. I'm sorry.
True. No, it's true. I think the problem with that game was that I think a lot of people were hanging on for a single player. But then again, Minecraft works. For example, Minecraft is a very repetitive game. Very repetitive.
That's the kind of game where you make your own fun.
Well, yeah, and maybe this game has the similar elements to that.
What I think would extend this game's lifespan, I know it's not out yet, and we can't really comment on it in that way, but I think if they haven't really mentioned multiplayer, and I think if you can do it with your friends, if you can say you're a trader, right? You've got a big cargo vessel. It'd be cool if your friend could be like a fighter escort, or
could you create your own stories at that point? Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
longevity as well,
or bandits, or
little mini trade routes. There's little space stations, and you both have to go and help. And
you can do this by yourself, by the sounds of it. But I mean, it's
not
just
a lot of multiplayer aspect to it.
From all I've heard, is you can spawn in the galaxy, and your friend could spawn, but it could take him like 20 years to get to you. So I think that's a bit pointless. They did ages and ages ago. They did sort of mention that they might be adding a more conventional multiplayer, but nothing's been said at all apart from that once. So
I have some major concerns now about No Man's Sky. I have to admit.
Another thing that's worrying me is if it hasn't been delayed, it's like what 3.5 weeks till launch, and they still haven't really shown.
They're not pushing it at the moment, which would it would come to light that if it's been delayed, because you'd expect some form of marketing now to be hitting, YouTube, for example.
Tell you what I reckon is going to happen. E3 is what, the 14th? Did he say?
Yes, it's around about that day. It's about that week, yeah.
I reckon they're going to show it off there, but I also think that they're going to release the new sort of release date, reveal the new release date, which I don't know. It could be July. Maybe.
Could be July. Could be pushing it back a week just to polish off a few elements of it. But I guess, like you say, I think we'll probably find out more at E3, which is right in the middle of June. So
that's gonna be good.
So I can't wait for E3. We're gonna do a special E3 show next show, where we're gonna give our predictions on what's coming up. So that pretty much wraps up all the topics. There's not a huge amount that's happened this last couple of weeks. It's been fairly quiet. Yeah, that pretty much wraps up the show. There's not huge going on, but like I said, the next show is going to be E3 special, and we're going to probably do a few of our own predictions, what we're expecting to come up, and hopefully we'll do. I think we should do a bit of a bet on this, Tom. Make 3 predictions, each.
About what?
About what's coming up at E3 on the next show. We'll do this on the next show, but until then, I want you to think about this.
Okay.
Come up with 3 predictions. What you think was going to be announced, mentioned, or something's going to happen. You have to come up with 3 things that you think is going to happen at E3.
Okay. A sword game, a space game, and a zombie game are going to get announced. Yeah.
Well, yes, but I'm trying to be a little bit more specific. Not yet. Wait till the next show. Star Wars. Oh, freaking yes. And I'm going to be like, and another Star Wars game.
And then 3 more on top of those 2.
But yeah, so that pretty much wraps up the show. Tom Simpson, what have you got planned to play this next 2 weeks until our next show?
Probably going to do some Far Harbor.
Far Harbor. Ooh.
You should buy that if you haven't got it.
I haven't really played much of Fallout 4, to be honest, but I mentioned this before in show. Me and Fallout 4 don't get on.
Anyone who watches this should buy that. And then Bethesda should pay me for saying it's not going to
happen. But also, you've got Divinity.
Oh, yeah.
Original Sin, the Enhanced Edition. Same as me on PlayStation 4, which was presently on offer.
I haven't done that yet. Oh, Earth Defense Force 4.1.
Oh, how are you finding that?
It's like, it's brilliant.
It's like brilliant. Cool.
Anyone should get that too.
If you like giant ants, insects, and blowing them up.
And Japanese stuff. It's basically like
very,
a Japanese
very
game
Japanese style. Very Japanese style.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, I'm going to finish off Uncharted for I'm guessing about 3/4 of the way through it now. Have you got Uncharted 4 yet?
I'm halfway through Uncharted 3.
How are you finding it?
I really like it. It's probably my favourite one out of the 3 so far.
Really?
I haven't completed it yet though, so I don't know what the second half's going to be like.
Well, obviously you haven't completed the end of number 3, but what's making you enjoy number 3 over, which I would say number 2 is the better one of the 3, but why would you say number 3 is better?
I don't know. I think it's the story. It's just kept me drawn in more. Number 2 kind of got a bit boring, and I left it for quite a while. So.
How dare you?
I did.
Well, that's fair enough. Yeah. Personal opinion, even though you're wrong. Personally, out of obviously including the 4th one that's now come out, the pacing of number 4 is a lot different. You can tell that it has a different writer on board. The same writers that did The Last of Us. You can sort of see a few Last of Us elements coming in here and there. And what I mean by that, I mean like story arcs, story moments, which just slow down a little bit, and it's all a little bit more emotional, and it's all a bit like brought home.
I think Nathan Drake should open up a tomb, and then the clickers and stuff come out, and then it starts The Last of Us.
Ooh, see, I don't know obviously anything about what the end of it. What happens if at the end of the game it actually is the start of the outbreak?
Because he's opened a tomb and a clicker's walked out.
Yeah, see, he's the cause of it.
Yeah, he's like the first clicker. Sorry, that's a bit of a grim outlook.
That'd be a bit of a like, oh. Like at the end of it, like.
Why do you think it's called The Thief's End?
Well, that's true, yeah.
It leads from a thief's end to The Last of Us.
It'd be like, at the end it goes, and he caused it all. And then just like a fast forward through like The Last of Us, like really quick shots.
And he's still there at the end, walking around aimlessly as a clicker. Pretty much.
And he's going, no. Oh, dear. Well, that pretty much wraps us up for episode 9 of the Always Games TV show. We can follow you, Tom Simpson, on the Twitterverse at OutcastReaver.
Or Tom Simpson.
So usually it's just me and you on Twitter just messaging each other like, have you seen this? Seen this video? Just me and you back and forth. But if you wish to get involved in those conversations, you are more than welcome. You can follow me. I want to bring my own picture up. There we go. Follow me on Twitter, which is at The Geekkeeper. Don't forget you can check us out on Facebook, which is /AlwaysGamesTV, and on Twitter, which is at AlwaysGamesTV. Check out our website, which is www.alwaysgamestv.com. And I think I've got it. Website, Facebook, Twitter. You can subscribe to us on YouTube as well, which is youtube.com/AlwaysGamesTV, because that helps a lot and keep going back, watching a lot more of our videos.
Instagram?
We're not actually on Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram, which I think it's Roger_the Geekkeeper.
I'm on Instagram.
Are you?
Yeah.
Really?
I don't know my name on it, but
I had no idea you were on Instagram.
yeah, no, neither did I until I downloaded it and it said I was already on it. So.
Probably a drunken night of like,
you
know what's going to be a really good idea? I'm going to go on Instagram. The next morning, it's like, can't remember.
No, it's on your Facebook, isn't it? Is it linked to that?
You can link it through now. So yeah, if you post on Instagram, it takes you through to Facebook.
Know.
But yeah. So, but actually throwing it out there as well, if you wish to send us any questions or say anything on any of the topics that we've mentioned on the show, please leave a comment down in the YouTube comments just below this video, or tweet us, or Facebook us.
I think we should say, please leave.
Please leave. Don't comment on these. No, please do. If you've got any questions that you would like to bring up, and we will happily bring them up in the show and try and answer them as best we can, as long as they're nice questions and not insulting.
Probably too much. Please get some better people
who know their stuff. Anyway, Tom Simpson, thank you so much for joining me.
You're welcome.
And thank you so much for watching another show of the Always Games TV show. And we will see you, hopefully, in 2 weeks' time. Bye, guys.
3.
3.